Welcome everybody to a sudden Dune over resurgence. We've been
sudden Dune over
out of it for a while. The other morning, basically, Jen and I both woke up to with our friend Sid from our Dune over show, and one of my friends. When she starts speaking Southern in the morning, and you see y'all, really,
y'all.
Yeah. So like right away, I was like, okay, like.
We've got to do this. We did an initial Dune reaction trailer last year, and what was that? October, September when that one came out. When we thought that it was going to be out, and then then it got pushed back, and then I remember, So, anyways, we woke up to a new trailer.
Yes, which originally was not supposed to drop till the weekend. And if you go to IMAX theaters and brave Delta variant, there is a 10-minute teaser, kind of like what they did with the Dark Knight movies. And it is Chani doing her opening speech for 10 minutes. And now I know like Chani's got 10 minutes right up at the front.
That's okay. Yeah.
We will have some stuff to talk about after the trailer. So let me get this set to go. No. Yes.
There we go. Yes.
Let me back this up. And I'll check the volume. Okay, so there's going to be no volume for the video so we don't get copyright struck.
Yeah, so if you all feel like it, feel free to ride along with us on this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself and then plug my headphones in over here. So.
Okay. Hey, Jen. If you mute yourself, you can't talk.
Okay.
You can't react to the video if you mute yourself. I was like, wait, don't do that.
Okay, well, I've got myself plugged in here, so.
Okay, let me just get to the starting point here and lower the volume a little bit. And let's start it in 3, 2, 1. Already, we're seeing that lovely Denis Villeneuve. There's an awakening. I'm liking the voice they're giving her.
Yeah.
Also, let's be honest, like this Denis Villeneuve's so good at just setting the scene. Oh, Batista. I kind of like in the Fremen gear, although the still suits I wasn't 100% good with.
Yeah.
Hey, it's an ornithopter.
They flap like dragonflies.
Aqua Bro. They added levity into.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be the one moment of humor.
Yes. So everything with Oscar Isaac, Sid was flipping out about. I think everybody did. Okay, that still suit look good there. This is going to be a really bombastic IMAX movie. It really is. You can just tell.
Yeah.
Okay, the Death Troop? Articar. Ooh. I kind of hope they add that part with Duke going, I hate this planet. Oh, it's not floppy.
Oof.
Paul's voice, I think that's going to bother me. I am liking Rebecca Ferguson as Jessica.
Yeah, yep.
She's got that regal look to her. Plus his Rose the hat. Ooh, the slow knife penetrates the shield. A slow blade. I love this scene.
Ooh.
Give me that maker.
And that's a baby maker.
Yes.
Oh.
It's a bad bitch moment. Getting a lot of Duncan in this. Stilgar. Is that the Atreides armor or is that Sardaukar?
Okay.
So that was my third time watching it now.
Yeah, same here. We watched it. I watched it the morning of.
You couldn't hesitate. I couldn't either.
I
was
couldn't,
like, I'm not
and
gonna watch it.
I saw that Sydney had watched it, and I saw some people in like our little Spice Girls group chat had watched it, and I'm like, okay, Dan wants to do a reaction video. I'll go ahead and wait, and I'll figure out when he wants to do one. And then you said in the group chat that you had watched it, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it too. And then I watched it. I watched it twice, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, okay, my butt is crying early this morning, and I really, I've kind of gone back and forth about if I want to watch this movie in theaters, if I want to watch it at home, just thinking of like safety, even though I am fully vaxxed. But I was like, I probably need to watch this at home for the simple reason that I'm going to be crying like a big ass baby in the middle of the fucking theater.
So, this is some of the stuff from our chat that I can read that's not trailerific. Like, it started out at like 9:52 in the morning with Sid going, y'all, the trailer, I'm screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, us panicking, going, wait, what? It's dropped? What?
Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know there was going to be one that dropped.
And Sid's like, I was like, oh, yeah, there's a decent amount of Leto. I know why Sid was freaking out. And then she's like, it's probably all his scenes. And then you're like, why am I crying? It's 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Sydney pops in saying, Oscar Isaac, break my back challenge.
Yeah. It gets a little bit filthy in our group chat. There's a lot of big feelings about Oscar Isaac and the beard. And
that was like, stab me, Duncan, Idaho. And then Sydney's like, sorry for being thirsty this early.
Yeah. And it's funny because we've all read the book. So some of us multiple times. Dan and I have Dune tattoos, so we're pretty big fans of this book. And just thinking about how freaking exciting this is. Thinking, I mean, it's what? How many months away? 3 months away?
Too long. But yeah, 3 months away, like, or 2 months and like 3. Oh no, 3 months because it's 4 weeks. They pushed it back,
and it's
again.
The 22nd of October, and today's the 23rd of July. So
for now,
yeah,
we'll see. I've been fooled before. I have requests for vacation time in. So some things we're gonna touch on real fast. So, Sydney brought up in our group chat and on Twitter. While this movie has made strides compared to the past movies with adding people of color, women, and different representations, they are lacking one representation that, if you haven't read the book, this is 100% lifted from Muslim culture.
Yeah, from
Middle East, North African.
Middle Eastern, North African culture. A lot of it was, and a lot can be said about like politics in science fiction and all of that. And 100% it was, but I think that it was also written in the 60s, like probably late 50s, early 60s.
64 something.
Yeah. So thinking about that and thinking about even though the Middle East culture wasn't like, obviously Frank Herbert was writing it from an outsider perspective, from a North American perspective. It wasn't as politicized. Like, obviously that was pre 9/11 and like pre Gulf War type stuff. So I think that Middle Eastern culture, I don't think that it was as hated and despised as it is post 9/11. At least that's my perspective. So I think that when Frank Herbert, um, I want to say lifted, he didn't lift. He straight up like just stole. He fucking Columbused a lot of this stuff.
Just like Paul.
Yeah. And I think whether that was his intention or not, to, wrap that into the whole theme of like white saviorism and are white saviors really the good guy? Spoiler alert, they're not.
And this goes into, so Frank Herbert's big thing about the way he characterizes leaders is he thought the most charismatic leaders were evil. Like John F. Kennedy was like a huge villain to him in interviews. And it's kind of a white savior turned villain kind of story, but we might be going too far in this. But
Yeah.
Paul is a very frustrating character. And
he's a whiny brat. He's a straight up whiny brat.
If you go back and watch our Dune over videos when we read the book, you will see some real feelings, and like Sydney especially goes through it to the point where she's like, "Fuck Paul, I hate him."
He's exactly like Luke Skywalker.
He's more Anakin than Luke, but George Lucas lifted from this book along with everybody else.
Yeah.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah.
So Denis Villeneuve, it's beautiful. Like if you watch Blade Runner 2049, I know it's kind of one of those movies that people either really like or really hate because it's boring, but you can't say it's not beautiful.
Yeah. And I think that it is a little bit of a boring movie, but I really, really loved the new Blade Runner movie. And I think that that's why when I first heard that Villeneuve, whenever he got announced to do Dune, I think it was right after the new Blade Runner movie, and I'm like, yes, especially those scenes and like the old city where it's just like a shade of orange sand. I'm like, yes, I 100% see it. One of the things that I heard about this new movie that I am pumped about, apparently Hans Zimmer created new instruments to get new sounds, especially for the Harkonnen. So like, I know that the Harkonnens, like, yeah, they're the bad guys. We could talk about like who the bad guy is in this, but obviously they're kind of the villain or antagonist in this situation, and they have definitely been coded as the villain, and are in this iteration are so much scarier and just awfully frightening in this. And there's a moment in the trailer, I don't know if you know this, but like or if you noticed it, but they kind of pan out to the Harkonnen people, and there's literally people being flayed.
Yes, I saw that.
Like, I didn't notice that until my second watch, and I was just like...
Well, they focused on the whip as well. That was on the beast hip.
Yep.
Supposedly, the movie ends very suddenly, like very abrupt. So my guess is it's either when Paul and them get rescued from after the worm, or it might be when a spice blow happens to a certain person.
I have, when we were doing our Dune over, when we were rereading Dune, and I was like, okay, I think the movie, I think that the movie is going to end here. After watching the trailer, and trailers can be so deceptive, right? So I think that after this trailer, I'm really not sure where that movie is going to end. I keep trying to like place it in my mind, and I keep thinking it's going to, I don't know. I keep thinking it's going to be right after the Liet Kynes reveal. That's maybe where my heart is thinking.
I also did not see any filing cabinets, so maybe that's for part 2.
I'm really upset about the lack of filing cabinets, because like truly the hero of the story are the filing cabinets in the Fremen
Their cave.
In the Fremen cave, they have filing cabinets, and that's the true centerpiece of the story. And I need to know. And I've talked on the show about writing Batman year 18 barely legal, and I'm also going to write filing cabinets of Dune.
I have one weird complaint that it's weird. Dr. Yue might be too attractive compared to how they talk about him in the books.
When he does like his little like hair pushback, I'm like, okay. Like at first I didn't think everyone in this book could get it, but apparently everyone in this book can fucking get it, including Yue.
Well, Josh Brolin, who's supposed to like have this giant scar, I'm just like,
yeah,
he's just looks like a rather buff, abrasive dude.
Yeah.
This is himbo central.
This is me smiling.
Yeah, like literally, this is himbo central.
Yeah,
like, this movie.
Yeah,
except for
lots
Paul.
of himbos. Yeah, but you know what? I think that Paul, you end up dying a hero or living long enough to see yourself become a himbo sandworm.
Please do. We'll use the art when the Dune over comes back.
Yeah.
Which hopefully maybe after the movie everybody will be into reading Messiah.
Honestly, after this trailer, I want to go back and I want to read. I feel like I want to read Dune again. But luckily, yeah. And then I really do feel like I need to dive into Messiah and Children.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I might have to do that before everyone agrees to a reread.
I mean, I'd be willing. Like Messiah can be knocked out in one episode, I think.
I think I would probably do like maybe maybe 2 or 3, just to really get some of the nuance in there. So that could literally be like a 3-week little mini session.
Yeah, or even like if we get the others like every 2 weeks.
Scott is saying that they love Messiah. You should join us for Dune over.
Yes, Scott. Like, so I'm not the only. Yeah, the chat literally is called the Spice Girls and Dan.
So he has to put up with literally all of us being thirsty over everyone all the time.
Listen, Oscar Isaac's a like incredibly attractive dude. Like I saw those Moon Knight fight videos. He worked the man bun and it worked.
Ooh. Man buns? I mean, I'll stand for a man bun.
And then
I'm a man bun stan.
Jason Momoa is just like, he looks like a really fun dude to hang out with.
Yeah, hang out with.
It's a nice little tale and real sad. Are you talking about Messiah? So to say the least, we're all very excited about it. Like I've waited too long for this. Hey, Sean. How you doing? Oh, hey, Gore. What's up, man?
Hey, Gore. Knew that you would pop in. We're talking, I feel like whenever we talk like big ideas and stuff, like Gore always comes with the knowledge.
And like literally, like I'm curious like how much after watching the first part I'm gonna be that little asshole after the reread we did going, I don't know, man, they left this out, like, or they changed this.
I think that I'm okay with change, right? Because if it was a shot for shot exactly like it, like honestly, that would be miserable, right? And I think that that's what the first film suffered from a little bit because, and it's funny because I went and I rewatched the first Dune movie, the David Lynch Dune movie this morning, and I fucking hate so much, and this is so heavy in the book, is the internal monologue, and I hate that, and I think that it is okay in the book, but it doesn't translate well in film. And so like if it's like, I think that's why the first movie suffers a little bit. In the books there were more filing like I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be like, well, in the books there was a filing cabinet over there and they left that out, and so my suspension of disbelief is just, that's where it ends, man.
Speaking of the David Lynch Dune, in September for Celluloid and Scotch, although Jen will be drinking Truly probably, we're doing the David Lynch Dune I for some reason, even though I don't like the movie, bought the giant limited edition Arrow
Because of
Video
course.
4K cut of it with all the extras, and in a steelbook. I don't know why, but I was like, well, it's Dune, gotta buy it. And
Yeah.
anyway, we'll be doing that before the movie comes out, and then we'll end up with the compare and contrast. It'll just be Carlito listening to Jen and I going, well, that's not like, why did they make this choice?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of choices in that. And oh, and I know like by the time part 2 comes out of this, if they decide to make it, which I feel like this movie's going to do well, I hope.
I feel like it really will. And I told my partner because we were talking about like, okay, like, you know, got to request October 22nd off. Do we want to see it in theaters? Do we want to watch it at home? And they said something like, oh, let's go ahead and, you know, we'll probably watch it twice. And I'm like, we're gonna watch it more than twice. Like,
yeah, but in the theater once, at home mini for HBO Max.
Yeah, we'll see. I will probably spend all day watching this movie over and over and over again. So if it's just me, like, I don't know, bumping up those views, then that's what it is.
By the time part 2 comes out, I think Sid would want to go with me just so she can sit there and go, oh, look, it's Irulan, all one part of her. Enjoy, yeah. Dan. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. The beginning is a very delicate time.
God, I wish there were intermissions in this movie of Irulan reading her book.
I really, you know what? I think what needs to actually be done is for this new Dune movie, for Villeneuve's movie, is we need a what are those called? Like Mystery Science Theater.
Like
tracks
commenters.
Commenters. We need commenters like that, but we really just need an outline of Princess Irulan and reading from her book, just her comments read while the movie is playing as a commentator. Like, that's what we need. Virginia, yeah.
That and the Jodorowsky cut, all 14 hours.
All 14 hours of that acid trip of a movie.
I love that he's already like, oh, this movie's bad.
If I was Jodorowsky, I'd be salty too. 100% I'd be salty. So
so I was like, yeah, this is going to be like 15 minutes. No.
Yeah.
Took great. Yeah. Well, yeah. Blade Runner was one of those movies where I don't know if it made it better, but fuck, Rutger Hauer was so good.
Yeah.
It's like Tears in the Rain.
Yeah. With Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, I think that a lot of really what gets lost in the movie is what's originally in the book, especially I mean, I wake up every day and I choose violence, and I choose a certain brand of social justice warrior violence where I'm like, so what I'm going to say here is compared to Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and Blade Runner, I think what gets lost in the movie, or what doesn't even show up in the movie, is this like class consciousness, right? Because a lot of it is about how rich people basically have fake as fuck animals. Like, to me, like, that is almost the whole point of the fucking book, is these like fake robot animals. So anyways,
I like Rutger Hauer's speech, and that is awesome. And if you really want to see a really frightening Rutger Hauer, watch the fucking Hitcher. Holy shit.
I don't think I've ever watched that.
It is brutal as fuck. Yeah.
We're your friends now, Scott.
So, like, I'm surprised the 10-minute teaser in the theaters that they're showing is Chani and not the Gom Jabbar.
Yeah. Do you think that?
But maybe it's good that they're saving that.
Yeah, and I think that in this movie, I think that just like, because I don't think the Gom Jabbar really shows up in the second trailer, like maybe for a blip, even if it did, but as much as it did in the first trailer. So I think that that will be a very tense scene. That's what I'm hoping, is that it'll be very, very tense.
Yes, and of course, oh god, I forget who the actress is. Charlotte Rampling playing the Reverend Mother Mohayim is incredible. Like, especially since she was supposed to be Jessica in
In
the Jodorowsky's. So like, unbelievable. So we're at like 25 minutes now, and to say the least, maybe like we were wowed to death during the trailer. So if we didn't say enough, but there was a lot going on. The thing that I keep seeing people who posting about the movie is it's bigger and louder than the trailer showing.
Ooh, okay. I think that that's why I do want to see it in theater. Especially when I heard that
the baby maker shows up.
That when the baby, because
the thumper.
that sandworm, that worm that we see, that if that is the worm that Paul does ride, that's only a baby one, and like they let him know, like the Fremen let him know, like you rode a baby, like our teenagers ride bigger worms than that little boy.
I don't think he rides it in this one. I think that's the one that just chased him and Jessica.
Yeah.
But just because you're going to start hearing and seeing the sand moving, so like figuring those Dolby Atmos speakers, like, and it's going to be big.
Seriously, like when I think the why I do want to see it in theater is just the score. And seriously, when I heard that Hans Zimmer like invented new instruments and like invented new ways of making music, like that's what pumped me up for this new movie to go see it in theater. So I think that even though I can get overwhelmed, that sensory overload a little bit, I think that I have to see this in theater.
And
I have to.
Also, the ultimate hat tip, Hans Zimmer also remade Pink Floyd tracks.
Really?
So Eclipse, yes, Eclipse from Dark Side of the Moon is in the trailer. That's Hans Zimmer.
Oh, see, I didn't know that was Hans Zimmer. I remembered Pink Floyd in the first one because I'm like, duh, that's a callback to Jodorowsky's Dune, because Jodorowsky was going to have.
It's Pink on the official soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like that might be one, because I really like that version of Eclipse that they did on it from Dark Side of the Moon, and I'm like, oh my god, like.
What other did they do? Other ones?
Apparently, there's a couple of like instrumental compositions of it that were from Pink Floyd as well, but I don't think they're on the soundtrack.
Okay.
But like, just you can tell from that trailer we just watched. You're like listening to it, you go, "That's Hans Zimmer." It's just so big and bombastic. It's kind of like him and Danny Elfman are like the two people. As soon as I hear scores, I'm like, "Oh, I know exactly who that is."
Yeah. Speaking, I feel like you'd appreciate this, but speaking of which, I think I saw a meme the other day, and it was like, shout out to all the kids who are going to be like, hey, Trent Reznor, the soundtrack guy, he was in a band in the 90s. So I feel like I would appreciate if, Trent Reznor threw in his hat for some Dune music.
Maybe for the sequel.
Mick Jagger doesn't play the baby maker. That's Christian Bale.
He's got the baby. He's got the big lips. The maker. Like I kind of need to see this movie in the theater with Sid. I hope she drives down to watch it with me, because there's nobody who gets more excited during movies. Like we saw Gambit and I went to see Infinity War with her, and she was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh he's hot, oh my god, oh my god. She was incredible. I'm gonna try and drag Gambit with me to see this, because he has like no concept of these books or movie other than what his wife has told him and what we've talked about. Also tomorrow at 9:00 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, we will be doing Descender for our graphic novel book club. It is my pick, and Jen may or may not be introducing a new character.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Special guest.
Yes.
There will be a special guest.
Also, since we'll have V and Sid on, just expect us to talk about the Dune trailer a little bit, because I know Sid won't be able to stop herself, because it's almost the whole Dune over together, almost.
Yeah, that's true.
So thank you everybody for joining us on this trailer reaction, which again, our reactions during the video I'm sure someone will complain about it in the comments.
Yeah.
We're like, well, you showed the video this time, but you guys barely talked. You can't win. Like, I'm sure there's already a dislike on here already, I'm sure.
Probably.
So thank you, everybody, for joining us for this impromptu Dune Over reunion, which by reunion, it's just us. Take care. And Scott, we will get a hold of you when we are ready to do Messiah. And anyway, thanks, guys, and take care. Bye.